Morning. It is 8:28 on day one of the Fat Loss Focus Challenge. So I've already been to the gym and done my daily exercise. It's part of my routine for my daily activity to tick a load of boxes to set me on my way for a good day. And this is something I'll come on to this week. But for today's task, all I want you to do is to start thinking about how you can take control of your own diet, your own lifestyle. So Fat Loss Focus is about building habits. It's about making decisions that benefit you and not things that someone else has told you to do in order to lose weight. So there's so many diets on the market that will say you must eat this food, you must eat at this time. That's not how I work. That's not how I work in all my programs, and my clients prefer to be able to make their own decisions. Now, this is a little bit harder because it's not someone standing there saying you must do this at this time. What we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do this week, is to get you thinking about how you can make a difference to your life rather than me telling you you must do this to lose weight. So there are a few principles we're going to think about, and one of these principles is that you only eat foods that you like. So there's 6 principles I work to, and we're going to go over those in the course of the weeks, but you only eat foods that you like. Now this is really, really important because so many diets will be thinking about or telling you that you must only eat certain foods, or they give foods a classification like a red, green, orange, or whatever classification. They class it as sins, they class it with a value that you can take off a list or whatever. But the problem with doing this is that these things are not consistent. So, for example, an avocado on a lot of plans will be considered healthy, and also maybe you can eat as much avocado as you want, or it's got a lower sin value or whatever compared to another food with an equal calorie amount, which is potentially a red or a high sin or a high value food. So it's not consistent, and what I want you to understand through the whole of this process is that it's always about the calories that you eat. It's not about eating healthy. Of course, we want to eat a healthy, balanced diet. We do want to eat healthy foods if we can, because there's other considerations than just weight loss or fat loss. But what we don't want to do is get confused with, if I eat healthy, I'll lose weight, because that's not something that is really followed. Eating healthy does not mean losing weight, and healthy foods, which I eat myself and I classify as healthy, and I say to my clients, that by all means include these things like avocado, nuts, salmon, olive oil. All these things have a high calorie value, and yes, they have intrinsic benefits in the body in terms of keeping you healthy and keeping your heart healthy, and all these other benefits that they have because of the sorts of foods they are. But if we're looking for fat loss, sometimes they're not the best choices because they don't fill you up enough and they have a high calorie load, and you tend to overeat foods that you think are healthy because there's something called a health halo, which gives you this, I'm eating healthy, so I'm going to lose weight. So we're not going to classify foods as good or bad or sinful or not sinful or red or green or whatever else. All we're going to do working through is make sure that you're eating foods that you like. Now, how we're going to do this and how we're going to start creating your diet that fits your lifestyle is we're going to use the star chart. So I put a video in yesterday. It's in the group. It's probably right at the top if you go to the group, and it's called Starting Your Diet Without a Diet. And this is something I do with clients when they don't like tracking, when they don't like getting to grips with loads of apps and stuff like that. We can start off really easily by taking all the food that they eat currently, and all we do every day is restrict slightly some of those foods. So, for example, what I don't want you to think about is, I'll cut out all carbs and that's a star. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to go, right, well, I have a pack of crisps with my sandwich at lunch. Can I not have that pack of crisps and still feel okay? Or can I only eat half that pack of crisps and still feel okay? More than likely, you can probably get away with eating half the pack of crisps, or taking the crisps out for if you can, or swapping the crisps for fruit, which is a lower calorie item. Still carbohydrate, but it's a lower calorie item. So a star is earned when you restrict foods that you currently eat. Now, I probably would not advise you to restrict protein sources, because we need protein for good health and building muscle, and also for keeping you full. So things like lean sources like chicken, lean beef, turkey, eggs to a certain degree, I wouldn't probably restrict those. But things that you would have with those foods, such as crisps, bread, avocado, nuts, chocolate bars, all these things you can reduce in the amount that you have, and that will give you a reduced amount of calories that you're eating. Now, the reason we do this is because if you restrict something which you eat normally, and you do that 3 times a day, so you've got potential to earn 3 stars in the day. You don't need to do any more than that. Just get 3, that's enough. If you restrict that, so you're probably likely to be restricting between 100 to 300 calories, depending on the value of these foods. So what will happen is, if we do that, and we do that 7 days, over the 7 days, you'll restrict about 2,000 calories, give or take. Now, providing you don't replace those foods with something else later in the day, so you need to make sure you're eating the same foods that you normally eat in a day. That's really important. Don't go on this, oh, I'm on a diet, so I'll start eating all these healthy foods and all these things, and I'll change my diet completely. Don't do that in the first week. Just think about what the foods I always eat anyway, and then we're going to restrict those foods slightly. So if you restrict these foods and take off, say for example, you have 2 biscuits with your afternoon cup of tea. Can you have 1 biscuit? Can you have no biscuits? A biscuit's about 100 calories, Hobnob, which is what I like, 100 calories per biscuit. And I eat like 3 or 4 at a time. So, so if I were to cut that out, I'd be restricting 400 calories in a day. So look at the things that you have, which you're only having really to maybe a social thing. So you're having, if they have like a biscuit tray at work, do you need to be having those biscuits while you're at work? Do you need to be, when you go to the pub, do you need to be having a full fat Coke? Can you get away with a Diet Coke, which has no calories? All these things, I just want to think about the things that you can restrict in your daily life, which don't impact your actual living your life that much. So you earn a star every time you do that. If you restrict 3 stars in a day, it's about 300 calories. Do that for 7 days, you've got about 2,000 calories there. Now, if you do that for 4 weeks, 21-day challenge, so let's say 3 weeks, you've probably built up about a 6,000 calorie deficit. Now, to put that into perspective, that's almost a kilo of body fat lost if you don't have anything else. Now, if you lose a kilo of body fat, you'll lose more than that in terms of body water and associated things in the body. And you'll also lose some food volume in your stomach. So your potential for losing weight will actually be higher than just 1 kilogram. You'll most likely lose a little bit more than that. And you can do that by not even following a diet, by just restricting the 3 things you'd normally have. So if we do that day in, day out, so for example, if you always have a biscuit, if you always have crisps at lunch, if you always have 2 beers in the evening, maybe you can have 1 beer, or maybe you can have 1 glass of wine rather than 2 glasses of wine. All these things you can restrict yourself, but not actually reducing the enjoyment of the process of living your life for the day. If we do all those things, we do it consistently for 3 weeks, you'll end up with probably a kilo to a couple of kilos weight loss, and you've not even followed a diet. This might sound silly. I've done it with my Target Lean Challenge. I've done it with clients who I'm just starting to work with. They always see results. And the reason they always see results is because they're taking the choice as to what they restrict. I'm not saying you can't eat this, you can't eat that. It's your choice what you want to restrict, so it gives you the power of choice over your diet. And you're only restricting things you want to restrict. You're not saying, oh, well, I can't have that chocolate bar. You're saying, well, I could have that chocolate bar if I wanted to, but I'll maybe eat half of it. And I'll throw the rest away, because you don't want to eat half and leave it on your desk, because you'll probably end up eating it. So if you want to restrict half, cut it in half, throw the other half away, or give it to a mate or whatever, and then you have the half there. So you're consciously restricting what you take in, but you're fine with doing that. And that's the important thing, is we don't want to put too much pressure. We don't want to put too much stress on you in the fact that you're on a diet. We just want to get you thinking about, where can I restrict my food so I don't have to actually eat that much? Because a lot of the food that we eat in the day is hedonic eating. And hedonic eating is, I'm not hungry, I'm just, chocolate bar, and I eat it. oh, biscuit, and I'll eat it. That's the majority of the overeating that happens in the day is hedonic eating. It's eating that we're not hungry, we don't have to eat. The food's just there and we eat it. So we're trying to address that issue, the fact that we're not hungry but we still eat. So star chart, all you have to do is draw it on a piece of paper. I will upload a PDF if you want to print off a PDF. But all you have to do is just draw it on the piece of paper. If you watch the video, you'll see I'll just draw it on a whiteboard. That's all you have to do is draw it on a piece of paper, stick it on your fridge, or take it to work with you so you can have a visual mind of what you're doing at work. Every time you restrict something, write it in the box what you restricted. Give yourself a star. If you want to put an actual star on it, great. Get that reinforcement, and we'll do that through the course of this week. And I'll also be reinforcing this with other videos. So the task for today is to draw your star chart out and restrict certain foods. If you are one of my customers who've downloaded the Lean Body Eating Plan, all you have to do is follow the plan, because you'll be in a calorie deficit. So you don't have to worry about doing the star chart. You can if you want to, but I will have calculated your calories for fat loss. So all you have to do is follow the Lean Body Eating Plan. So for your task, if you've done that, I just want you to say that you follow the diet for the day. Okay, so if you draw out the star chart, just tick, give yourself 3 stars if you follow the diet. That's all you need to do, because you'll be in a calorie deficit. If you've not downloaded the eating plan, we want to get you thinking about eating and restricting before we talk about how many calories you actually need for weight loss. So let's get you in that process of restricting yourself, giving yourself a star every time you do it, reinforcing the fact that you're making a positive change, a positive vote for your life. That's what we're talking about here, making positive changes to your life. So that's the task for today. The video I want you to watch, I'm going to link it into this video in a second in the comments, and it's understanding the difference between weight loss and fat loss. Now, I'm not going to go into what the difference is here because that's covered in the video, but there is a stark difference between losing weight and losing body fat. And if you can start to understand that right at the beginning, you'll understand why your diets in the past have failed and why you potentially can do better by understanding the reason why fat loss happens and the reason why weight loss happens. So please watch that video. I'm going to put it in the links in a minute. Watch that video. It's on YouTube. Leave a comment, thumbs up if you like it, and then make sure you understand the reasons. Now, if there's a question, put it into this group so I can answer it in this group, and we can start having a discussion about why these things happen in the body and what the things maybe you've done wrong in the past, which you now think, oh, right, okay, I understand why that's happened in the past. Because understanding why you failed in the past is integral to understanding how you're going to succeed in the future. So, okay, task for today, do the star chart. If you've downloaded the Lean Body Eating Plan, just follow that. And then watch the video on YouTube, come back here, leave some comments about what you understood, what you got from it, and now what the light bulb moment was you're having today. And let's do that for today. And I will pick up on the comments over the course of today, and we'll have a discussion in the group later tonight. Now, I have Jacob tonight, so I'm going to try and do a live about 9 o'clock. If he stays asleep, I'll continue the live as long as possible. But yeah, I do have him tonight. So if I can't get it done tonight, I'll do a live tomorrow because I don't have Jacob tomorrow night, and we'll have a more detailed discussion then. Okay, so have a great day today. Make sure you do those tasks. Start the day the way you want it to happen. Don't think, I'll do it later on. If you're watching this now, if you're at work, if you're having a break from work, write out your plan and get it started, because the sooner you start, the sooner you start making a difference. Okay, have a great day, and I will see you later.